Mr. Swanson, your father's prostate has swollen to monstrous proportions, and it's only a matter of time before he loses all control over his bladder. Soon, he'll be confined to a humiliating existence in adult diapers, and even then we can't guarantee his survival. I could barely control the rage inside me, as this disgrace of a doctor was grinning and prescribing the most expensive meds he could think of to the person I cared about most in the whole world. The man who had been my rock and pillar of support throughout my life was now lying there, a weakened and vulnerable shadow of his former self. My beloved father, James, was soaked in his own urine and barely holding on to the last threads of life. He who was once the envy of every woman on our street, a towering figure of strength and virility, had now been reduced to a pitiful shadow by the very people who were supposed to save him. My heart felt like a lump of lead, sinking into despair with every single word the doctor was telling me about my father, and how I should consider sending him to hospice care, how he'll never be the same again. As I stood there, I felt a whirlwind of emotions. Grief and anger battled within me, leaving me feeling helpless and broken. I thought of all the moments we had shared, the laughter and the tears, and the love that bound us together. It was unbearable to imagine a world without my father's warm embrace, his reassuring voice, and his unwavering belief in me. Looking upon him, fighting for his life against an insidious prostate disease, I couldn't help but wonder, how on earth did he end up like this? Even though it was one of the most scarring events of my adult life, and I lived in fear of losing the man I looked up to my entire life, I did it. After spending thousands of hours buried in tons of research papers, journals, and medical publications, seeking to find a solution to the disease that affects millions of Americans every year. With my father having endured an almost fatal experience, not only did I save his life, but I came across the only safe and natural solution that can keep his prostate safe even up to his 90s. This discovery shook the medical community to its core, especially because I did it with no expensive equipment, no costly life-threatening pills, zero surgery, and no greedy doctors whatsoever. Everything your so-called specialist told you about your prostate and how its malfunctioning is caused by age was utterly wrong. Despite what mainstream media and medical writers have to say about this, and even though thousands of pretend doctors write about it in their big pharma-controlled publications, the real reason why so many people have problems with their bathroom routine and experience inflamed and enlarged prostates has nothing to do with their age, diet, or sexual habits. Nor does it have to do with testosterone levels or chronic disease, as they claimed numerous times before. In fact, as you'll soon see, your painful prostate inflammation and sleepless nights, and even that constant feeling of needing to go to the toilet, are a side effect of something more terrible and frightening that's happening inside you as we speak. Something that not only destroys your manhood and sexual life, but your overall ability to live a healthy, normal life. A process that is so much more dangerous since it starts happening from an early age. Hint, it implies a habit that you absolutely cannot control and doesn't stop even in your 70s. And with every second that passes, it wreaks havoc on your prostate and sexual organs more than you could ever think of. Groundbreaking research shows that this problem dates as far as the 1900s, with today being at its peak danger. And it left over 10 million men across the United States alone broken, with a seemingly unhealable prostate, and feeling like they'll never be man enough again. But in the next 3 minutes, I'm about to show you the exact reason behind your inflamed prostate and irregular bathroom breaks. What you can use to ease these symptoms. The science behind the crazy hack that saved my father. And finally, I'll offer you the secret solution that not only solves your prostate and reproductive system problems, but it also protects you from any other related condition that may occur, such as prostatitis or BPH. all the while increasing your fertility, sperm production rate and sexual stamina by a whopping 83%. If you ever wish to repel all your so-called age-related prostate problems and feel like a 20-year-old healthy stud again, if you ever wanted to live your life to the fullest without worrying about peeing yourself or having to go to the toilet every 15 minutes, and if you ever wanted to be the pillar of your family, the man everyone looks up to, no matter if you're 50, 60, or even 90 years old, then you came to the right place. I know that this sounds too good to be true right now, and you're right. You must be tired of hearing the lies of those who want to make a quick buck out of other people's suffering. But if you're still putting your hopes and dreams into those big pharma elites and their money-chasing lackeys' solutions, if you truly think that their racketeering scheme is made for something other than stacking their bank accounts to their brim, or that they'll simply come up with a solution for a problem they knew about for over 60 years and release it because they have a heart of gold, then I'm afraid this solution is not for you, and I recommend you leave this site at once. A lot of people are queuing up to try this prostate-mending, life-saving method I'm about to share. However, if you ever wanted to feel like a whole man again, without praying that this time you'll really get everything out and you won't have to go again in 20 minutes, or even worse, pee yourself. If you want to know what it feels like to get a good night's sleep without waking up every 30 minutes just to go to the toilet, if you want to be able to have the night of your dreams with your wife again, making her feel like she's sleeping with the 30-year-old version of you, if you want to never worry about going through the shameful experience of getting your prostate checked and paying thousands of dollars on Avodart and Proscar, and if you want to have a healthy prostate and reproductive system for years to come, without having a second to think about toilet breaks or packing emergency underwear everywhere you go, then stay still and listen to what I have to say, because it doesn't matter where you come from or what kind of life you have lived until now. It doesn't matter whether or not you were the most sexually active person in the world or the opposite. You can be a college guy in his 20s, ashamed to tell anyone about his wrongfully labeled old man condition, or a 60-year-old grandfather who just wants to be healthy and have one more shot at his youth again. And most importantly, it doesn't matter how many things you tried before that ultimately failed you. 100,000 stories from men all over the US have used this solution for themselves and experienced incredible success. Shane, 59, from Colorado, said the following: "When I first clicked on your video, I thought, no way this is real. This is just another one of those scammers. I should just close this tab. But I'm so glad I listened to that tiny voice inside my head that asked itself, what if this actually works? I feel like a brand new person after trying your secret. I no longer have to find bad excuses to leave in the middle of a conversation to sneak into the bathroom. I sleep like a baby, knowing that I won't wake up needing to pee anymore. And you want to know what else I'm glad about? I no longer have to undergo those shameful tests that take away a man's dignity, nor spend another dollar on their useless, expensive medication. From now on, I can live a happy, normal life alongside my family and loved ones. The best part is that I finally feel young again, and my wife can sure feel it too. I can't thank you enough." Or Jeff, 65, from Iowa. "My problem started with having to spend half a day in the bathroom. I gave up alcohol, caffeine, sodas, basically every liquid except water. I spent thousands of dollars and countless hours in medical cabinets every month, praying and hoping it would get better, although I knew there was nothing they could give me to make me feel better about myself. Even my marriage became bitter, and my wife started sleeping with her back towards me. That was until a friend showed me this crazy solution of yours. I shunned it off at first, but I was intrigued to see what it's about. And I have to tell you, it completely turned my life around 180 degrees. No more endless bathroom breaks, no more stress, and my marriage is now better than ever. You made me feel young again, and for that, I'll never be able to repay you enough. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Hi, my name is James Swanson Jr., or Jimmy, since my father is thankfully still alive to use the name of James, and I'm 37 years old. I live in Indiana with my wife Judy and my son Billy, and I can say that our lives have been quiet, reserved, and all in all quite happy for the most part. I say most because there was a period of time when things weren't so great. See, my father's always been something of a player. He told me stories of how, back in the day, before he knew my mother, he would have 2 or even 3 girlfriends at a time. Of course, that was until he married my mother. I know for a fact that my father loved her dearly, but after he became widowed 5 years ago, it didn't take him long to move on and resume his playboy conquest. Now, he was already in his 50s, but still looking like a rugged brick house of a man. So things came easy for him. That is, until they didn't. See, after decades of playing in the dirt, my father took a major hit. At first it was just some bathroom problems, no signs of anything major. He told me he would either be awake all night or just not go at all, sometimes for several days in a row. His bathroom breaks would end up with grunts and screams due to pain, and he would say he felt as if he peed liquid fire. Then some days his lower abdomen would hurt him so badly that no matter how many Advils he took or how many times he peed in a day, it still wouldn't stop. Now, losing control over his physiological needs was definitely a kick in the teeth for him. He knew his life could hardly be the same with all these harsh symptoms. But what hurt my father's pride the most was the fact that he was an unreliable sex partner. This one time, he went to a bar and flirted with a beautiful woman who fell to his charms in an instant, and so they went to his house. And as he was taking his pants off to give her the best time of her life, he realized he couldn't get it up anymore. In that moment, my father, the guy all the women on the block craved, was reduced to a mere husk of the man he used to be. He fell into a deep depression and wouldn't leave the house except to go to the doctor. And when the doctor confirmed his fears about how his kidneys, prostate, and even his erectile functions may be irremediably damaged, it pushed him over the edge. If there's one thing that's true about James Sr., it's that he's a fighter through and through. So he blindly put his trust and savings into doctors and solutions, each and every one of them more costly and crazy than the other. First, he tried a dialysis machine, thinking that fixing his kidneys would miraculously solve all of his other problems. I mean, that's what the doctors told him, right? It's probably because your kidneys aren't filtering your blood well enough. This might help you eventually. Probably. Might? Eventually? These were all words that screamed, "We're going out on a limb here, and we have no idea how to do our jobs." And when he realized that wasn't doing anything to help him, he went to another doctor. A lady doctor from France who, after weeks of testing and thousands of dollars worth of her time, said that the only way to help my father was some experimental blood treatment similar to chemotherapy for leukemia. Naturally, my father was against the idea, especially since the procedure was invasive and the side effects too many to count. It would put him in another hospital room in Paris, strapped to a different machine, and condemn him to constant dizziness, nausea, hormonal unbalance, and he would probably still not recover his erectile functions at the end anyway. This time, I agreed with my father and refused to go through with that kind of treatment. We decided instead to try and see if we can't help him ourselves, with certain medications that he could take at home, while my wife moved in with us and took care of him. These drugs made it easier for him to pee, and he even got a bit of a rosiness in his cheeks again. So we kept with it for a few months, with very little progress. And even the cheapest generic option ran us a whopping $7,000 a month. And if we wanted to continue, he'd have to take it his entire life, with the added risk that he'd develop an addiction to them. So we stopped. But his symptoms came back stronger than ever. He wouldn't even dare drink a glass of water because of how scared he was to go to the toilet. Not to mention, his abdominal pain became too much to bear, even for him, and I could hear him grunting and crying every time he turned around in his bed at night. The whole situation was taking so much of a toll on him until one day he finally cracked up. He couldn't stand it anymore, so when my wife and I were at work, he took a bunch of Advils and ibuprofens he found around the house to help him with his pain and went to the nearest strip club. If he were to go down, he wanted to go down a man. When he got there, he flirted with the most beautiful girl he could find until she agreed to come home with him. But of course my father was unable to get it up, so he tried the only thing he could think of. He swallowed a bunch of special blue pills, thinking that those were his last resort to feel like a man again. But as she was undressing him, getting ready to see what a man my father was, the unthinkable happened. He started shaking and spasming as he fell to the ground and begged her to call an ambulance. After that, he wet his pants and passed out, and he only woke up 10 hours later in the hospital bed. It's truly because of a miracle that my father didn't die that day. Jimmy, your father is lucky to even be alive. That pill combination was strong enough to take down an ox. But I'm afraid his prostate has tripled in size since the last visit. Soon he won't be able to pee normally, and he'll have to wear adult diapers too from now on. And the worst part is that even like that, we don't know if he's going to make it. We're going to have to perform a transplant on him, and we'll most likely have to cut a part of his reproductive system too. However, we'll have to keep him here for a few weeks of monitorization, and in 3 months we'll schedule him for an intervention. As I watch my old man laying there, reeking of urine, reduced to a mere husk of what he used to be, I knew for a fact that he wouldn't agree to that, not in a million years. They wanted to cut out parts of his reproductive system, and he wouldn't even be awake to know it. Luckily, he's still whole today, and it's all thanks to one single man. It was my father's 20th day of hospitalization, and it didn't look very good for him. Neither of us wanted to say it, but that operation was his last chance. But we both knew it was just another one of their schemes to rip some cash out of us. But one day, I saw a strange-looking man waiting in front of my father's room. When I got next to him, he handed me a note, shushed me, and whispered the following: "I think I can help your father. Meet me once they let him leave the hospital. Don't tell anyone I was here." On the note there was an address, a phone number, and a name: Joshua Hook. After doing a little research on him, I came across something jaw-dropping. Apparently our secret helper was indeed a doctor, but not only a medical one, he was also a marine biologist. And that wasn't the only reason why he wasn't your regular doctor. He was actually an extremely famous and highly praised surgeon, specialized in the most complicated and difficult prostate and penile interventions. A league of his own, he had exclusively performed these interventions on A-list actors and world-famous singers, and to my utter shock, a great number of artists and celebrities had gone under his knife to become men again. You'd actually be surprised how many actors actually have prostate and erectile problems. And as if this wasn't huge enough, Dr. Isaac had been receiving countless medical awards and even the Medallion for Scientific Achievement, the highest recognition a surgeon can get. And yet, this was a professional you wouldn't see on TV or magazine covers. And it makes sense, since he only worked for extremely famous people that had to keep their identity fully covered. I was in awe. But what did this genius have to say? Did he really have something that could help my father? I had to find out, so I decided to give him a call as soon as my father was released. We agreed to meet at his private lab, and let me tell you, the things he said back then, even though now I know they're 100% backed by real science, it's still shocking. During my career, I met thousands of people like your father, Jimmy. Men in their 50s and 60s telling me they can't go to the toilet properly anymore. They wake up in the middle of the night. And worst of all, they can't get their penises to be erect for the life of it. And they all hated themselves for that. They couldn't understand why they were sentenced to such a life. But it wasn't their fault. Because when it comes to prostate and erectile problems, the entire scientific community likes to blame it on your age, genetics, or even just bad luck. And most of them even dare call themselves professionals. What a disgrace. None of them are even looking in the right direction. As a doctor and a marine biologist, I try to see the connection between both areas, especially with water being the essence of life. But what happens when the very thing that's supposed to give you life actually makes it not worth living anymore? You see, I specialize in a particular type of algae, kelps, and how they operate after being exposed to air. Algae in general function differently from regular plants. Normally, plants use photosynthesis, the process of turning sunlight and carbon dioxide into energy and oxygen, but algae products are more varied than those of plants, and their cells have features not found among plants and animals. Before you ask yourself, I want you to think about this. Did you ever stop and think about the poison that gets inside your house? And most importantly, how does it end up there? The poison I'm referring to is actually your very own tap water. You see, because of people contaminating the marine ecosystem, kelps and other algae have been finding it hard to properly photosynthesize completely. And because of that, they start secreting a toxic molecule that can't be properly eliminated by your ordinary filtration system and ends up in your house, in the water you drink, and that can even be absorbed through your skin when you shower. But this specific harmful product, when reaching the human body, will end up trapping oxygen in your blood. And when it's time for your prostate and kidneys to filter it, they have to work overtime to such an extent that they essentially age tens of times faster than normal. Once they filter it, what remains of the kelp algae in your blood comes out through urine, and it can be absorbed by the cartilage that uses blood to swell up and give you an erection. So it stands to reason that if that cartilage is clogged up by this algae substance, it won't be able to take in blood and rise as it should. Plus, since your prostate is found exactly between your kidneys and your penis, it's of course normal that most of the kelp toxins are stuck in there, inflaming it and making it malfunction. And that's only half of it. Just think of the other pollutants people keep spilling in the water and how they can damage your body too. Everyone is talking about it. The Water Quality Association, the US Environmental Protection Agency, the Environmental Working Group. I could give you a dozen studies to show just how dangerous this thing is. Now, of course, it depends on how long people subjected themselves to this risk, but I see that your father is one of the worst cases I've ever encountered so far. I stood there in shock listening to Dr. Hook, and for the first time I finally understood why my father was condemned to a life of suffering. So is there any way to fix all this? I asked Dr. Hook. It took me over 15 years to figure this out, he said. Even though things went this way, that doesn't mean it's irreversible. You can actually turn on the switch of the prostate healing and erection repairing process, but you have to listen to what I'm about to say next, Dr. Hook continued. Then the good doctor told me something that left me in an awe. You see, Arnold, the human body is capable of amazing things when given the proper tools. It can completely flush out any trace of marine poison and restart your prostate and reproductive functions, bringing them back stronger than ever. All you have to do is supply your body with healthy substances that are strong enough to flush away the kelp toxin safely from your organism. Because you see, by itself, your body can't fight something it wasn't designed to. That's why it needs some help. There are two ways to do this. The first one is an extremely dangerous one, where you inject an antidote directly inside your prostate and reproductive system. But the risk for that is too great. This can cause great damage to your entire reproductive and excretory system. And the achieved results are only temporary too. Plus, a needle piercing you again and again can cause severe scarring and even result in a deformed penis. So ask yourself, would it be worth it to endure pain, risk nerve injuries, infections, tissue damage, and even risk possible death for nothing in return? But then there's another way that's much safer and about 12 times more effective. This is the way that will ensure your father's prostate and reproductive glands are 100% cleaned and protected of any possible toxins that may come its way. So, as he explained it, to heal my father, we had to supply his organism with natural substances that were strong enough to fight off the marine poison found inside his prostate. Good Dr. Hook, however, had an ace up his sleeve already. He'd been in contact with a number of his colleagues, most of whom he'd known from their med school days, so they all trusted each other. Some of them work as microbiology researchers for big pharma companies, and they said that most of them are already aware of the issue. As sworn helpers of mankind, they put together a clandestine operation and pooled their resources so they could find some way to stop this. Through their years of study, they came up with several natural ingredients, plants that essentially did the opposite of algae, and they were now searching far and wide for the list of powerful ingredients that would help my father. What I found most interesting about their research was that they all agreed on one common denominator. The formula had to be in the form of a powder, for a better and faster absorption. You see, Jimmy, if we turn this into a powder, it's going to be easier for your prostate and kidneys to absorb the nutrients, rather than a hard, tough pill. When he gathered all the ingredients, he would have my father try dozens of different combinations every day, all while noting the improvements he would see. Dr. Hook was carefully selecting them to do three things: relieve the prostate, kidneys, and reproductive glands of the kelp poison found inside of them, flush the toxin out of his system, and create an impenetrable barrier around his organs so that this marine toxin wouldn't lay its hands on him again. Some days, James Sr. would feel less pain and his bathroom breaks would be less irregular. That's when Dr. Hook would write the exact combination and amount of ingredients he used to keep in mind for the final formula. We were both really excited. The truth is, I was extremely happy every time I would see my father feeling even a little bit better, or that he was getting a good night's sleep. But I knew Dr. Hook wasn't looking for a quick fix. Our goal was to make sure my father's body was completely rejuvenated and that his prostate and penis were functioning normally. Now, one morning, something incredible happened. Early in the morning, my father woke me up with the most excited shout he could produce. His penis was erect for the first time in over a year. Not only that, but in that exact day, he never complained once about experiencing pain when urinating, and his bathroom schedule was finally fixed. Now, the results didn't just stop here. My father's hair was brighter, shinier, and thicker than before, and Dr. Hook ran some tests to find out something incredible. His testosterone levels increased by 254%. After testing this formula for over 30 days, we realized that it was an absolute success for my father. Now, it was finally time to do the right thing and share this discovery with all the other men out there. But Dr. Hook warned me. Just because this program worked on my father wasn't enough proof it will work on anyone else. So we went on some dedicated blogs and posted a message saying we're looking for volunteers to test it. It was quite easy. Next day, we had 71 men who signed up for the program. Dr. Isaac prepared the formula based on what had worked for James Sr. and gave it to all the participants and instructed them to follow the program for 30 days. Now I expected to see some results, but I definitely didn't expect to see them coming in that fast. Not long after, our phones were ringing like crazy with all these men explaining to us how they could go to the bathroom without an issue, and their erectile functions were back, stronger than ever. I even thought some of them were joking, had it not been for some quite explicit pictures sent in our inbox. After all the reports came in, one thing was sure. The formula was a brilliant success. 100% of the users completely restored their kidneys and prostate's health, while also fixing their erectile function. 83% signaled a minimum of a 135% increase in testosterone levels. 56% of them reported a noticeable improvement in their blood pressure. 2% lowered their blood sugar levels. And a margin of 3% even said that their penis grew by at least 0.8 inches. Whichever way you looked at it, the formula was a success. It was at that moment we knew we could go public with this life-saving formula. So Dr. Hook and his clandestine group managed to pull some string to find a discreet, independent natural pharmaceutical company in Colorado. From there on, I started helping Dr. Hook and his crew to find the best suppliers that could provide a larger amount of ingredients to produce more formula. This wasn't easy at all, since we needed only the purest, strongest ingredients for this 100% potent and effective formula. It took us weeks until we found someone reliable. You would be shocked if you'd know how ignorant most of these people are when it comes to the quality and purity of the raw materials they provide. It turned out that we had to look for ingredients on 4 continents. Dr. Isaac used all his connections to make sure we only get top-quality ingredients from certified and FDA-approved producers. The job was excruciating. We worked day and night to make sure each ingredient was mixed in the right quantities. But after over a month of hard work, we finally did it. I wanted to scream it out loud as I held in my hands the finished product, something that would help everyone around the world protect their prostate and manhood, even as they advance in their 80s. We called it phalanax. With its powerful mixture of over 50 ingredients, phalanax is the only solution tested by over 100,000 men that's 100% guaranteed to relieve your prostate and restore your erectile functions in just a few short weeks. Every single ingredient in this mix was specifically selected for their cleansing and enhancing properties. And when combined together in the exact quantities, all these superfoods have the ability to flush out the hidden poison found inside your body and restore your manhood once and for all. Every bottle of phalanax is made here in the USA in our FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility under extremely sterile, strict and precise conditions. Phalanx is completely non-GMO safe. It does not contain any stimulants or toxins, and it is not habit or tolerance forming. And the way this program works is groundbreaking. We tested the formula on over a dozen independent labs, both from America and Europe, and with over 5,900 initial brave volunteers from 18 different countries. All this while making sure all ingredients can sustain high quality and purity. Lab tests have shown us that in order for this program to be efficient, all the ingredients have to be mixed only in these exact quantities and in this exact formula. And what we achieved is what experts call a medical breakthrough. Here's a short explanation on how these ingredients work and why they are so powerful. Step 1. Block the algae chemicals from acting. Our main ingredients, alfalfa leaves and camu camu fruits, have a similar role to the actual culprit, kelp. I know how this sounds, but hear me out. Remember how I was saying that these particulates from broken down algae will lodge themselves inside the cartilage responsible for erection? Well, these two have a similar molecular structure, allowing them to lodge themselves in the same way, essentially stealing the kelp chemical's seat before it can sit down. What it does differently from it, though, is that it actually allows the gas that's needed to fill up this cartilage to pass through, because it doesn't react with it, so you can get an erection without any obstacles. On top of that, these plants are said to reduce prostate inflammation and allow the nutrients to be absorbed faster and 79% more efficiently. Step 2. Flush out the kelp toxins from your blood and body. Now, stopping this hidden enemy from taking away your manhood is all well and good, but what we want to do is completely deny it from destroying your prostate. For that, we added a mix of shiitake, maitake, and raitake mushrooms, which serve to bind itself to the poison algae in your blood, in a similar way the oxygen does. What these three accomplish by doing so is neutralizing the enemy by feeding it with itself, neutralizing it so that it no longer needs to take the oxygen that your body needs. In that state, it can pass through your kidneys and prostate without exerting effort on them. And since it can no longer remain in your urine tract, it will just be eliminated like any other substance. To further hydrate and ease the effort of your prostate and kidneys, we decided on adding a mix of cucumber, broccoli, and spirulina, which are highly rich in nutrients and can completely nourish your prostate. Step 3. Rejuvenating the prostate and reproductive organs. So we've eliminated and blocked the algae from your system, and it's time to use this mechanism to your advantage. Since your kidneys and prostate are no longer working overtime, we can feed them Brussels sprouts, celery, and kale in order to actually boost their strength by taking advantage of the well-oxygenated blood. These help with the process of filtration so that everything that comes through your kidneys will be broken down without any strain. This means you can enjoy any beverage you want without having to deal with overcompensating for hydration, because your organs can now keep up with you. Step 4. Bulletproofs your prostate and entire organism. Now pay attention, because from now on, incredible things start to happen. First, you need to know that since your penis has been for so long deprived from natural development, your reproductive system needs a powerful refresh and rejuvenation, so you can enjoy a huge and strong penis at its peak. To achieve explosive performance for your penis, we didn't stick only to ejecting the kelp poison from your body. Indeed, blood poisoning from this kelp byproduct can ultimately lead to terrible complications if left untreated. And since we've boosted your blood and kidneys with carrot, wheatgrass and beet, why not do the same with your heart? That's right. This same miracle plant can accomplish the same thing for your heart as it does for your kidneys. After all, it's the same mechanism that allows your blood to flow properly. Although we did add a small dose of turmeric and ginger to boost the muscular properties of your heart, because of course, your heart is a muscle, and it needs to be able to keep flex quickly and repeatedly so blood can be pumped to where it's needed most. Which leads us to what you've been waiting for. Step 5 gives you your manhood back and revitalizes your whole body. Much like the blood that's now easily and efficiently flowing towards your manhood, so will you return to being a wholly capable man. With the chemical removed from the blood and stopped from entering your corpus cavernosum, the penile cartilage, you can now help it along with the help of acacia gum and eleuthero root. See, this unbelievable natural duo will provide extra fuel to your erectile function by promoting the production of nitric oxide, the gas that inflates your penis. Basically, it's like getting more air into a balloon so it can grow as large as humanly possible. On top of that, every single ingredient will boost testosterone production, leading to stronger, sturdier erection and more stamina when the time comes. Plus, your hair will be stronger and thicker, like a lion's mane, and you'll once again feel like you're back in your vibrant 20s again. To top everything off, this mix, combined with the other over 30 elements, makes sure your entire organism is enveloped in an impenetrable health shield, regulating your blood pressure, blood sugar levels and melatonin levels to help you rest in an optimal amount. By now, you probably have 2 questions. First, how do I get my hands on this? And second, in which quantities should I take phalanax? You see, it's hard for me to answer the first question. When we created phalanax, we knew that in order for this formula to work, we had to source only the highest quality ingredients. We looked over 4 continents from over a dozen providers, until we found the right companies to work with. This makes our ability to keep high stocks on hand almost impossible. And then there's all the men who've used phalanax and experienced first-hand results of this incredible formula. They are all coming back for more. For themselves and for their best friends, they want to make sure we don't run out of phalanax and they're left out. This makes our stock run out in days every time a new shipment arrives. Plus, we're only able to produce phalanax in small quantities, since finding high-quality ingredients is extremely hard. This is the only way to make sure we keep the formula 100% effective. Since you're here, your package is reserved. But if you leave this page, we cannot guarantee supply when you come back. Now, regarding how you should use phalanax, the answer is easy. Take 1 scoop of this amazing powder after breakfast, lunch or dinner with a big glass of water for at least 30 days. It will provide you with the necessary nutrient intake specially designed to flush out the kelp poison out of your system. Strengthen and protect your prostate and overall organism, and give you back your sturdy, rock-hard erections at 100% power. Now, based on how badly poisoned your prostate is, your blood oxygenation and testosterone levels, it's going to be a tough battle. Your bathroom schedule can easily be regulated, but that won't be of much help if the pain and the penile limp will still be there. And your organism will still be at huge risk of poisoning, since you're still going to use tap water daily. Sure, you will see the minor improvements fast, but the internal ones, well, it may take longer to heal. That's why, after analyzing the results of over 100,000 men who've successfully used this program, we recommend taking at least 3 bottles of phalanax over a period of 60 days. But if you want to be completely safe and don't take any chances, we recommend you take at least 6 bottles or more over a period of 120 days. This way you'll be absolutely sure your prostate and penis will be forever protected and cleansed, and will stay healthy and strong for the rest of your life. Over 100,000 men and counting have used phalanax with amazing results. The way they healed their prostate and erections made them whole men again, men who no longer have to worry about going to the bathroom every 10 minutes or having to pack extra underwear everywhere they went. And it proved to be absolutely phenomenal for their sexual encounters too. They also experience bigger, longer-lasting erections for maximum pleasure and intensified orgasms. Their sex drive and energy levels are skyrocketing, and their overall body health is absolutely flawless. Men like Jack, 68, from Michigan, that said, "My life was a burning hell down there. I literally organized everything around the way I used to pee. I gave up a lot of food and coffee. I tried eating more fruits and vegetables. Not to mention I didn't let myself drink the tiniest bit of alcohol at my son's wedding. But everything was as useless as that last drop of pee I tried to squeeze out with every trip to the bathroom. The only pleasure I allowed myself in this life was sex. And one day, my little friend decided he's had enough of it too. I was completely devastated, and I felt like nothing could ever help me become whole again. Then, I arrived at your website and found this formula. I'm a little over a month into this program, and it's like I never had any prostate or erectile problems. Absolutely amazing. I never thought I'd feel like a teenager again. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Or Alfred, 60, from Kansas. When it all started, I went to the toilet more than 20 times a day. That didn't make any member of my family happy, since it messed up their schedules too. I felt as if I was peeing straight up hot tar, and no matter how hard I squeezed, the last drops would always dribble in my underwear, making me feel like a useless disgrace of a man. Not to mention, what was once the thing every woman in my workplace longed for was now laying lifeless in my pants, unable to get up. But thank God for this solution, it saved my life. I barely started taking this formula, and it looks like things are finally getting back to normal. I can sleep better, my bathroom breaks are regular again, and not to mention, my wife is happier than ever. It's all thanks to you guys. A billion times thank you. Stories like these are incredible, but they are not unique. Every day, my phone rings and another email or text messages pop up on my screen. Thousands of men who now enjoy their lives as if they're in their prime again, with no second thought of prostate or erectile problems. Now, knowing all this, $347 seems like a fair price for something that can make you a man again, that can give you back your dignity, and to be honest, your sanity. It's not even close to how much you'd spend on uncomfortable dialysis machines, redundant pills, or other crazy gadgets that only fill you with frustration and pain as you see their uselessness. And it's definitely less than what you'd pay for life-threatening surgery. Really, no man should ever go through a prostate intervention. Yet, phalanax, unlike any other product in the world, helps you relieve your prostate by treating the root cause of your problem. Then, there's the other thing. Given the difficult conditions we live in these days, it's very hard for us to know when our next shipment will arrive once we run out of stock. You see, we only work with FDA-approved and GMP, good manufacturing practices, certified producers, which makes our mission to find high-quality ingredients practically impossible. Each ingredient was carefully tested and clinically proven to 100% protect and heal your reproductive organs. But then again, this isn't about the money for me. It truly isn't. I never want anyone to go through the things my father has been through, the shame he felt every time he entered a urologist's office, the disgusting meds he ingested every day, even those for anxiety and depression, just to try and live like a normal man. The humiliation he felt as he made a fool out of himself in front of that beautiful girl. I never want any man to feel that. That's why today, on this website only, you can protect yourself from prostate and erectile problems and regain your life back for just $69. Now here's the thing. 2 bottles of phalanax will get you that healthy, relieved prostate and sturdy penis you always wanted. They will also boost your testosterone levels, increase sperm production, and even help your hair follicles grow. All while doing the most crucial part, flushing out the kelp poison found inside your body that's been stopping you from living like a real man all this time. But there is a reason why almost all of our users smartly choose the 6 bottles package. Once you go with the 6 bottles package, in just 6 months, you'll have the healthiest prostate and sturdiest rock-hard erection you can ever imagine. It'll ensure that your reproductive organs will reach their full health and potential, and until the process is completed, your entire body will be rejuvenated. Your blood pressure and blood sugar levels will be completely regulated, and your heart will be in A+ condition. Many years from now, you'll still be the same incredibly well-hung stud with a steel-strong erection, ready to show everyone that you weren't lying about those glory days. And of course, we want to help you as much as we can, and because I know how important it is to keep your prostate healthy as you advance in age. So after talking to our manufacturer, we are able to offer a huge discount on the 3 and 6 bottle package when you place your order today. Sounds good? Well, it's about to get even better. Since we want you to feel 100% confident that you have all the weapons and knowledge you need to fight any hurdles in your journey. Should you choose to buy the 3 or 6 bottle package only today, we're going to throw in 2 ebooks valued at over $100, completely free of charge. These ebooks will take you on a journey through men's prostate and sexual health, and will give you tips ranging from the one thing you should always have around the house, the 3-step routine every man should do in the morning, the superfood that can boost your health and sexual performance, and many other little secrets that are going to help you achieve your goals in no time. Take a look below now. Once you select your package and hit the button below, you'll be taken to our secure order page. It takes less than a minute to enter your payment information, and once your order is confirmed, we'll discreetly ship phalanax straight to your doorstep. No one besides you will know what's in there. It's a promise, so go ahead and select below now while stock lasts. Over 100,000 men all across America and the world are now living proof that phalanax can finally help you regain your prostate's health while shielding it against life-threatening disease. All backed by over a dozen scientific papers published in some of the most prestigious medical journals in America. Now, this may be a little shocking to you, and I understand. After all, the greedy drug and gadget manufacturers, together with the billion-dollar big pharma industry, have been preying on you from the moment you first set foot on their website. So let's change that right now. Dr. Hook and I put everything we had into this program, and we sure as sunlight stand behind it. That's why with every bottle of phalanax you get an ironclad 60-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. It works like this. You select one of the packages below and hit the buy button. You give this program a try and experience the incredible results as tens of thousands of men did before you. You rejoice as you regain the glory of your manhood. You see how good it feels to always be ready for everything, not having to schedule your life around your bathroom breaks. You laugh at the thought of ever having to pack emergency underwear, or even having to think about Viagras ever in your life. And if for any reason whatsoever you are not satisfied with the results, send me or Dr. Hook an email and we'll refund every penny you invested into this program. No hassle, no questions asked, no red tape. But please hurry, we now have the solution. That is going to cause major losses to this industry, and this is something they don't like very much, which makes this website their number one priority on the takedown list. You think they won't do it? This is the second time I'm uploading this video, and they keep finding ways to push us back. They know that once this formula reaches enough people, it will be too late to stop it, and they don't want that to happen. And that day is coming really fast, given how fast phalanax sells right now. So they are now fighting more than ever to take us down. Now, while you're still here, do not hesitate. Next time you come back, it may be game over, and you won't see this solution ever again. I may still try to spread it on my private WhatsApp group or on Telegram, but as I've come to realize, these sneaky farmer-paid SOBs infiltrate everywhere. So hit the button below right now and don't risk your only chance of getting your manhood and life back. Today you finally found the right path forward, the one that you've been searching so hard for your entire life, the one that brings you happiness and peace of mind. And truly this is something that anyone can only dream of. Because the other path is the same one you've been on for quite some time now, and you already know what's ahead of it. In fact, you already know what's behind it. All the shame, the humiliation, the shameful events, the bad stories, the disgusted looks, the pain, it won't go away. Not like this, not if you don't do something about it. And I'm sure you already know this, because in a year from now, what's going to change? Will you stop being anxious every time you get up in the morning or go to sleep every night, thinking that your body will urge you to go to the toilet every 20 minutes? Will you continue to waste thousands of dollars on pills, machines, and awful injections and interventions that even if they may have some results for a day or two, they will eventually fail you one by one? Will you ever stop wondering if you're man enough? If people around you will stop looking at you with disgusted looks, waiting for you to pee yourself wherever you go? Right now, you have a chance to literally erase all that and start a new life, a better life, where you're finally in charge of your own destiny. A life where you feel comfortable in your own skin, with your own manhood. Where you can attend an important event and know that you can fully be there for your loved ones. Where you confidently flirt with every beautiful woman you want, because you know what's hanging down there is enough to make her say that she never met a man like you in her entire life. You'll be an old man who can barely remember his grandchildren's names, but your prostate and penis will hang in there, making you a man that's ready to rock anybody's world with their sturdy, rock-hard erections. Click on the buy button below now and give this program a test try. Still here? If so, it probably means you have some more questions about phalanax, so let me go ahead and answer them now before you secure your order. Fake. Is it really possible to repair my prostate and genitalia? The quick answer is yes. You see, the reason why phalanax is so effective is because of its special ingredient composition and the way it acts on your reproductive system and organism. Other programs may help you achieve some shallow, temporary results, but they don't actually fix your problems. Phalanax, on the other hand, goes directly to the root cause of your problem in a unique and proprietary way and reliefs your prostate and gives you the sturdy erections Mother Nature wanted you to have. FAQ. Is it okay to take phalanax if I have allergies or I am currently taking other supplements? We created phalanax for all ages and medical conditions. The only side effect you'll see while using it will be the surge of energy that's going to flow through your body once you start taking phalanax. Phalanax does not require any restrictive diets or weird exercises. It does not interfere with other supplements you may take. and it heals your prostate and penis in an extremely safe and natural way. You should also know that phalanax is produced using high-quality ingredients in an FDA-approved facility using the latest technology and equipment. This is why we can confidently say that phalanax is safe to use. Now, as always, if you suffer from allergies or other certain medical conditions at this very moment, we strongly advise that you consult with your doctor first. Is this program for me? Yes, phalanax has 0 side effects, and it doesn't interfere with any medication or diet. Also, we've received many thank you letters from men saying they've managed to regrow their hair and got healthier blood sugar levels using this formula. Will I be seeing results soon? The moment you begin taking phalanax is when the growing process begins. And once your body assimilates all the nutrients it needs, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. What if it doesn't work for me? Can you tell me about that guarantee again? Tens of thousands of men are already living proof that phalanax will work for you. Of course, no two bodies ever work in exactly the same way. A small number of people might find it doesn't work for them as they expected, and that's why every bottle of phalanax comes with a risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee. If you decide phalanax is not for you, you can return what you haven't used in full for an immediate no questions asked refund. Is this program still going to be available over the next year? It's hard to say. The big pharma hacks are not going to step aside and watch as their long-kept secret gets spilled everywhere. This formula is already causing them major losses. Men with inflamed prostates and erectile dysfunctions are now enjoying their lives to the fullest without paying a single dime on their useless treatments. That's why we don't know if this program will still be here this year, next month, or even next week, to be honest. So this may be your last chance to get phalanax. The choice is up to you, of course, but I wouldn't wait until it's already too late and this website is removed from the internet. Also, you should know that the only place you can get phalanax is right here on this page. I'm in. What's next? It's very easy. Select one of the packages below and hit the Buy Now button. Try the program for 2 full months, and if you're unhappy with the results, send me an email and I'll make sure you get your investment back. So go ahead and click the button below. I hope I answered all your remaining questions, and by now you can safely and confidently order your own supply of phalanax today. Also, I feel like it's my duty to confess that in order to achieve the best results, my personal recommendation for you is to choose either the 6 or at least the 3-bottle package. So go ahead and secure your package now, fill in the shipping details on the other side, and start enjoying a calmer, healthier and manlier life, like it was always supposed to be. I can't wait for you to share with me your incredible results.